All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're live, and I'm joined with a crowded house this week. I want to first take a second to introduce our new permanent lab tech, Mr. PJ Bolin.
Hey.
And we do have a rotating group of part-time lab techs now, and because Mike is out sick this week, I am joined by Mr. Pedro Roca.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me.
And, of course, I'm joined by Jay.
Sorry, guys. I'm still here.
All right, guys. But it's that time of the show that I love. It's my favorite part. Your week in Heroclix. We got a new cast and crew, as it were. So, PJ, this week in Heroclix, what you been up to?
I've just been building for upcoming WKOs. I haven't played a single game. The only dice I've been rolling were just counting out squares and checking leaderships and stuff. So, nothing fancy for me this week.
That's cool. Pedro, how about you?
Similar, but I've been practicing a little bit more. I think in my ROC, I think that practice lacked a little bit. So I'm studying a little bit teams against Unimind, discuss with a couple of friends, practicing with Thiago, seeing what can or cannot affect a Unimind team, seeing some cool stuff showing up. The dev team from Kenny Payne also good, but basically practice matches for the WKO, getting ready. I'm gonna be lucky to have to do a work trip by November 11th. Then hope they'll get something in to report later.
Awesome. All right, Jay, how's your week been?
Thursday, we had Sidekick Night at 401 for the first time. Got that for the first time, and then we got our first open. So it's been pretty good for getting stuff going there. We had me there as a substitute judge, and then we had two new people show up, and I just watched them play a couple games and try and coach them and whatnot, and it was good. I definitely saw some improvement starting there, even from when they came in. That was good. And then I ran a Halloweeny kind of event on Sunday. Was 500 golden. Monster Cured was considered named, and if you have like a Hell Lord person like Mephisto or whatever, they count as monster. I brought a couple teams because I generally just run. You can switch teams. And I saw that everybody else was running Hulks for some reason. We had Devin running TMNT, a Shield Hulk, and some other monster stuff. And then we had Kyle, who was running the End Hulk from Avengers Assemble, plus that Shield Hulk, and then something else. So I was like, okay, let's pull out the team with ADW World Breaker, which is pretty fun. And I won a game, I lost a game, it was a good time. And I finally got my new Scarlet Spider, and my Spider collection is back complete until, of course, more new stuff comes out with that new set, because you can never have a complete collection.
Awesome. I myself took a chance for a 700-point tournament where you had to have figures from two different universes. I chose TMNT and the Undead. Why not, right? My team from the TMNT side of things was Monster X, the new Rat King from TMNT 3 or 2. The one that warps to hindering terrain.
That's
and
2,
based on the comic one. I think he's
Mind
2.
controls, perplex.
Yeah, right. Because from 3, I had Lord Drank on my team, and it was a monster-themed team because everything else was from Undead, including 2 werewolves, a Belphegor, as a result, with 4 demons from my sideline, Frankenstein's monster, Dr. Frankenstein, and I think that about made it up the brunt of my team. I learned a couple things. One, I apologize to Frankenstein's monster for all the bad things I said about it. Holy smokes, that thing, once you got a Frankenstein with it, pretty cool. And the werewolves, nothing is better than saying to your opponent, my werewolf uses range combat expert, and look on their face like, wait, what? Hold on a second. No, I swear I'm not cheating. This is look right here. But I went 2-1. I lost the first game. I feel like time might have gone a little quick, or we might have started late. I'm not sure. I'm going to blame a little unfamiliarity with some of my figures, maybe, but we only got like 3 turns out of the game in total. Overall, it was a lot of fun, and everybody looked at my team and said, I want to play against that. That looks awesome. And then they see demons and robugs show up all over the place, and then they change their minds very quickly. All right. But enough about what we've been doing. It's preview season, and boy, did we ever get annihilated with some previews. So I'm going to start with some less than exciting previews. We're going to start with the monthly OP kit with regards to the we got the Scarlet Spider, Synapse, and Dr. Voodoo. Then a whole lot of fun stuff beyond that. But this is the last you're going to see of my face for a little bit as we bring up the screen share of HC Realms and we talk about the Scarlet Spider. Scarlet Spider is 75 points in Spider-Man team ability. He's got improved movement, ignores elevated and hindering. He's got call and help from the Spider-Verse trait. Once per turn, all characters with this trait, for all characters with this trait, when Scarlet Spider hits an opposing character, after actions resolve, you may roll a d6, and on that roll a 3 to 6, place another friendly character with a Spider-Man family keyword adjacent to this character. We've seen this in the past. It's just kind of reiterating for folks. His 3 close to the last clicks have a special movement power. Scarlet Spider can use Charge and Flurry. When he uses Flurry, he may make up to 3 close attacks instead of 2. And then he's got a special defense power on his glass click. Stop. Scarlet Spider can use Regeneration. When he does, the minimum healing is 1. And he can't use Regeneration for the rest of the game. PJ, your thoughts on the Scarlet Spider?
I think he is absolutely horrible. He has a stop click. So that's something, but he doesn't do anything on that stop click except for one-time regen.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the sculpt. He looks cool, but other than that, I don't like it.
Yeah. All right, Pedro?
I think the stop clicks there just to give you a chance to say you actually charge Fluid for 3 times once. So because otherwise you're not gonna get there during the game on your own. But I have to agree with PJ. It's for fun. You're not gonna use chart. You have many better Spider-Man calls in there. And even if you try to salvage for a call in, not impressive. So yeah.
All right.
I don't think he works as a call because I think isn't his name Kane?
Oh, it
his
doesn't
real
even
name
work
Kane
there.
Parker. His
doesn't work.
Scarlet Spider. He just doesn't work.
Exactly. No saving for him then. Sorry, no saving grace.
I mean, I'm looking at my Spider-Verse stuff right now, and it'll definitely be casual fun times, no doubt. But other than that, not at all competitive in any ever. Just no.
It would be great if it's call in, replace him from another instead of calling someone, replace him from another one that actually does anything good.
I don't think I'm going to add to the beating that this poor Scarlet Spider has just taken. All right.
Cool sculpt.
Next up, Dr. Voodoo. This is a 4-click, 40-point dial. The first 2 clicks have the Spirit of the Ancient special power. Dr. Voodoo can use probability control on the Mystics team ability. His last 2 clicks come with some Smoke Cloud, willpower, and more probability control. Phasing across the movement, 5 range. Pedro, your thoughts on Dr. Voodoo?
First I seen it might have been other place, but to me, first I seen Mystics as a special damage power. Interesting, but for 40 points for prob, you have so many other good options, especially other coming out. So 40 points for prob, and with this dial, unfortunately, it's gonna be for the sculpt again. Many other good options in the competitive play. So yeah, fun but not very useful.
All right, Jay.
You say it's good for the sculpt, but that is the sculpt that always breaks. Are you ready to take him out of the packaging?
It's a cool sculpt that's fantastically unsturdy.
You can flaunt it if you have one that didn't. So that's the most you get out of it is flaunting an unbroken sculpt.
Keep it in the plastic it comes in.
It might be okay eventually if we lose other prob options. Unlikely, but you never know. Or in 400 limited in the future, I don't know. Not a definite no, but probably a no.
All right, PJ?
No, I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't think I would play this guy. The only saving grace, he has Avengers keyword. So if they lose out on their probs, it's, if you're trying to go name theme, you can get an Avengers prob. That's about it.
Yeah. I think the one thing worth most insulting about the Mystics team ability, it triggers at the after actions resolve now, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Resolving with either of those 2 clicks, if you ask me. All right. Next up, we have Synapse. 6 range, triple target, 45 points, Avengers and Humans keywords. Real name is Emily Guerrero. Natural side talents is her special movement power on first 3 clicks. Synapse can use mind control. When she does, you may modify her attack at range values by +2. But if you do, she may only target 1 character. Jay, Synapse.
She's looker rare, but literally worse in every way for the same number of points. Because she has, if she gets the +2 attack, she has the same attack value as looker, but also less range, no outsiders. Yeah, she's just another character we have for the same points, worse in every way except for the Avengers keyword. So no.
All right.
And she doesn't
PJ?
fly.
She also doesn't fly. That's true. PJ?
Same thing. Just it's not good. Triple target mind control is okay for fun stuff, but it's just not going to do enough for you. The only thing I think that she has going is the Inhumans keyword.
Inhumans over the Avengers, even.
Yes, I love Inhumans. So
Yeah. Right, Pedro?
gotta love it.
I actually did some homework on her because I was so unimpressed, and I also found out, about the looker, and we're gonna talk about it later. I hope in this universe where Nighthawks are everywhere, their +2 is like Fenris. It's great, but then you nullify the +2 and it's used. I would dare say even Lori Lemaris is better than her because for the same 45 points you get something, and if you have water on the map, you might salvage her even better. But looker is the best option if you want to spend your 45 points. You just deliver the same results, and she's not affected by Nighthawks and same like effects.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. All right, so that was a little bit of an unimpressive monthly OP kits. We might have to go back to the activity of trying to make teams with these, but I don't think I'm going to torment anybody with these particular 3. Oh, man. Oh, boy. All right, let's get into the good news section, guys. We have some more Harley previews, and I love that we've been getting our Harley previews on Monday now, because back in the day, they didn't give us previews on Monday. We had to wait for them and then watch as our show is gone. And then we've got previews all week, but I'm going to stop talking about it, and we're going to bring up Kirk DePaul, Manhunter. I don't know why I wanted to say it like Kirk DePaul. This is the common prime with the secret society of supervillains and assassin keyword. His trait, talent, training, and genetic design. Oh my gosh, that sounds like a douchebag saying it. Talent, training, and genetic design. Free, choose post-combat expert or combat reflexes. Ranged combat expert, close combat expert and combat reflexes, or range combat expert and energy shield deflection. Kirk DePaul, Manhunter, can chill. Gosh, you got to say it the whole thing every time. Can use the chosen power and can use the chosen powers until your next turn. So if you choose close combat expert, he's got combat reflexes to back it up. Range combat expert with energy shield. He's got a special damage power on his first 4 clicks. Modified damage by +1. Oh, no one should have to live an unwanted legacy. Modified damage +1 when attacking only opposing characters with the same name as another character on the map. And then this guy comes in 5 range, 65 points. No indomitable or willpower, but what you see is what you get. Stats with a 12 attack on the first 2 clicks, 11 attack on the second 2, 10 attack on his last 2. PJ, we're back around to you. What do you think of Kirk DePaul?
So for constructed, I don't think he's playable. Mm-hmm. But I think in sealed, since we're going to see a lot of Harley sealed at WKOs, that this guy's going to be insanely good. Yep. You have your sidestep creep. You basically have a 19 defense at all times. Then you're looking at 12 attack starting with 2 damage is good. And you have an expert based on whatever you need. So you can be 14 attack 2 damage or 12 attack 4 damage, which is bonkers for a 65-point piece.
Yeah, well, I'd agree with that for sure. Pedro?
Yeah, no, he said it all. I think it for sealed it's going to be great. I love that they're trying to put Bloboid's trait back here again. Bloboid's power. Nobody used it. We're trying it again. But the pickup power is great. I think where you don't have cancellation on pluses, this is awesome for sealed. For current constructor, I agree. Maybe in the future, assassin is cool. But yeah, I agree with PJ. Sealed probably very strong, but other than that, wait and see for the rotation.
All right, Jay, your thoughts?
I think you can see some play post Nighthawk retiring. For sure. I mean, just the sheer stats with the point are at least worth trying to build with once that menace is gone. Especially in an environment where you can more or less hope that he's going to get the +1 because, all the good characters go to the top, so you can almost expect him to get that +1. So, I think there's definitely something going on here to do something with in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do love the idea that we can talk about major sealed coming up right now, and really opens up a lot of characters that we are going to be talking about in regards to this set, because we don't just talk about constructed feels so reductive at times, and having this option to say this guy does have somewhere where he's going to shine it feels so good. And I do like the idea of expert and sidestep together, man.
Yes.
That's a combination of things that just needs to constantly be happening. I also like the protection of energy shield or combat reflexes when you're ready on regen clicks.
And 6 clicks for 65 points.
Yeah,
Good.
this is a really good bargain of figures that you can or bargain points that you can really squeeze into any Seal team. Speaking in the prime slot, we go to the rare part, and we got Harley Quinn. Now, Harley Quinn, oddly enough, comes with Arkham Asylum and the Sinestro Corps keywords. Calm yourselves, boys. Calm yourselves, all you Lantern fans. You know you're going nuts for it. All right. She's got Fear of Madness as her trait. Perplex, but only to modify combat value by -1. When Harley Quinn uses it, choose close or range. Unless it's the only character on an opponent's force, the target can't make that kind of attack until your next turn. She also got a special attack power on her first 4 clicks. You afraid of spike boxing gloves? That was a terrible New York accent, and that's what you get for trying to do an accented cold reading. It comes with knockback. Knockback damage dealt due to Harley Quinn's attack is increased by 1. Oh, I love it. She's a what you see is what you get power set outside of the first 4 clicks. But man, what you see is something.
It's a lot.
Points, 5 range, flight. Pedro, your lead on the prime Harley Quinn.
I like her. I like even her for the current meta. Perplexing down, it's a thing. It happens. You won't be prevented from doing so. I would love to see a little bit more of range or maybe Indomitable, because after all it's 100 points. But I think although she doesn't have super strength, hypersonic and knockback, it's always a good combination. If she doesn't knock back, at least you can say don't do close attacks. So she has some good survivability, especially against a tentpole team. This is probably going to shine a little bit better. Running shot, pulse wave anywhere on the dial is good, although where 5th or 6th is a little bit harder to get you there on purpose. But I like her. She might see some play. I think it's borderline there. Might not. It's not an instant gold, but if you put some work into it, you might make her work.
All right, Jay.
I feel like she's just a little overcosted to be really competitive. In addition to the fact that while the perplex power is good, ID cards are a thing. So if you shut down one of their characters, they just pop out another one. So she's not bad. I feel like she's, I guess kind of tertiary, fringy area. Just a little too many points for what she does, but I think she might see a little bit of play. Definitely we'll see that WizKids Open sealed play for sure, though.
All right. PJ.
This piece actually made me go pre-order a case today. I think this piece is phenomenal. And while in current modern, it's not going to be game breaking because, like Jay said, there's IDs. But in modern limited, she completely controls the Unimind teams.
Yep.
Like they're just playing single Unimind. He just doesn't get to attack.
It does have the stipulation of if it's unless it's the only character in the opponent's
So if they're
force,
playing 165 Unimind with support, then they're just stuck with only their support. But I'm a big Lantern fan, so I think she's great. I think the extra knockback damage built in with hypersonic is really, really good. Knocking somebody off a building for 3 damage, it's pretty good, especially since flyers take the fall damage now.
Yeah. Yep. I don't care if you fly or you have invincible. You're taking a damage.
Yep.
And that's
kind of weird, but otherwise, I think she's a phenomenal piece for 100 points. I think you get a lot. The random running shot pulse wave toward the end will catch some people.
Yeah, it's one of those things. The late click running shot pulse waves, especially in a sealed environment, really flip games a lot. And another thing is this is one of those characters at face value seems okay at best, but then you actually start to see her in action. And I think she's gonna knock socks off, especially in sealed play. She's very interesting, and the fact that she's got the range with her hypersonic and her knockback is not limited to close combat. It's any number of awesome things that are gonna make her. She's gonna turn some heads, Miss Harley at WKO Seals.
Yeah, new perplex rules also work well for her because you can down the defense and punch with multiple characters.
That's
and they still can't retaliate. So
And of course, after she's done hypersonicking, you get her into a decent range and follow up with some range attack with some early dial enhancement. Never miss that enhancement, kids.
One thing that I would love, though, I know it's asking too much, but it would be if they said you can also play her at 50 points and she's KO'd on click 5. I wouldn't mind paying 50 points for the first 4 clicks at all either.
Yeah, I can see that.
That
All right. Next up, last, but definitely not least in rarity, that's for sure. Shazam, God of Gods. He's got the Justice League keyword, deity, and mystical and ruler keywords as well. Billy Bastion, real name. That's right, guys. You get that last little bit out of Shazam's ID card if you want to choose to use that with him. His trait, God of Gods. Opposing characters within 6 squares and lower points can't use probability control. Everything you do gone. Shazam, God of Gods, has protected Mystic's team ability. And then he's got a special attack power on clicks 1, 2, 5, and 6. Shazam! Pulse Wave. When Shazam, God of Gods, uses it, he has knockback. He's 200 points with the Mystics and Quintessence team abilities. He flies. Starts with some early click invincible, so he's already kind of immune to Mystics, but whatever. Then turns into some mid-dial invulnerable, late-dial defend. Probability control in the late dial as well. 6 range, some running shots, some side steps, phasing. Jay, what are your thoughts? Shazam, God of Gods.
That is definitely a real boy with a really good inspiration for the whole of the game because it's Quintessence. So especially important now with new outwit rules. So he should definitely at least see some teleporter play. Not as much full constructed, unfortunately, but.
All right, PJ.
I think this piece is horrible. I think it has a great sculpt. I love the character. I love this comic arc. Like, when I saw that it was Shazam God of Gods, I was super excited to look at this piece. And I did. And he's 200 points. If his trait gave him prob and then they couldn't use prob, okay, maybe. And then, like you were just saying, he has protected from Mystics, but he has invincible on the first 3 clicks. And most of the time when you're attacking, you're going to Pulse Wave. So, I don't know. I just feel like this guy's way overcosted, especially for only 8 clicks of life.
Mm-hmm. And are you going to stay back from him in seal play in Harley?
It would really depend. He's not an auto play, I don't think. If I opened him and I just really didn't have better, yeah, sure, I'd play him. But I think opening him doesn't mean that you, no matter what, play it.
Yeah.
I feel like that the prob trait adds a lot, too many points. They didn't cost it properly.
I think he's a 150-point piece.
All right, Pedro?
Yep, no, I agree. I think Lex Luthor and Joker might actually take full use out of him in a teleporter for the pulse wave with knockback. That's it. I agree with Jay. It's maybe a real boy, and we need to see the rest of the set. But I agree with PJ, which is not an insta play, come what may, in the set for sealed. Maybe because it's in sealed, it might be a strong dial, but we need a bit more info to give him the seal of approval, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. And the only thing I really want to sort of touch on is that the Kingdom Come figures spoiled us for characters like this. Like, we got what we got out of that Shazam for 170 points, and then we had to look like every Shazam since then has really got an onus to super impress everybody, or we're all gonna kind of go, yeah, okay, but we have Kingdom Come. So.
But don't you guys rather play Zeus, the LE at 200? I thought, I think his more range. It doesn't have running shot to begin with. You don't have to go there. But I would still, if I have to pick one, I think Zeus LE, it's a better god than the God of Gods.
Yeah, probably. I mean, again, I'm more focused on sealed with Harley right now, unless something really kind of catches my eye as far as construction is concerned right now. And it's weird when you get a 200-point character of this kind of magnitude. And I'm actually kind of thinking about what's in the rest of my packs. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. Oh, he'll be good to close off Zatanna, right? At least that one gets close and shuts off a double prob. But other than that, there's a lot to be seen yet to judge him as sealed gold.
Yeah. So it's definitely going to be. It depends on what I pull. But the next part, it's less a preview, more an act of astonishing astoundment, as it were. WizKids announced, so we now know the next X-Men set's called X-Men First Class. It's going to be your standard set, and there's going to be ID cards packaged in with it. But there's a set that's been announced afterwards. The solicits are out, and my goodness, have they flipped the bill on us, kids. This is now what you're seeing on the screen. This is the boring old solicit page. But there's a number of facts behind this set, and this is Avengers Infinity, the Colossal Booster Bricks. What you get out of each pack of these is a standard 5-figure pack with one exception. You're going to get 4 figures that are single-based and 1 figure that is 2x2. I'm going to give everybody a second to kind of take that in.
Don't you just throw everything in your shelf away to make room for it?
Yeah. Make some shelf space, guys. This set is going to be literally big. There's going to be a lot of massive figures. The way it breaks down with this new setup, there's going to be 12 commons in the set, with one of them being a prime, 12 uncommons with one of them being a prime, 10 rares with one of them being a prime, 10 super rares, 1 prime. 6 chases in the set. Now, here's where things get weird. There's going to be 10 uncommon 2x2 Clixed figures, 10 rare 2x2 figures, and 5 super rare 2x2 figures. And they mentioned a couple notable names in here, like Eternity, the Living Tribunal is mentioned in there. I know a lot of people are going to go crazy if we finally got a Living Tribunal. We got a new version of Devil Dinosaur, this time featuring Moon Girl. And I'm okay. I have to eat my words. I made fun of it ever since the topic of Marvel vehicles came up. We have to suffer the Spider Buggy. The Spider Buggy is going to be a thing. This is the Killer Moth, kids. This is the Killer Moth of Marvel. So at face value, we have this much bigger set. The price standard is going to go up, of course, because there's significantly more plastic, more packaging going into this. And we're just going to bring it back. PJ, your thoughts, your level of anticipation for the Avengers Infinity set.
It's like a solid 8. So it would be a 10, but man, I just don't know where I'm going to put all this stuff. Because with a lot of the stuff they're talking about being in there, it's going to make me want to buy multiple cases. So if I have to start storing, I already have like 40 Colossals. So now when you're adding another 50 2x2s, it's just not going to be pleasant for storage. Otherwise, it sounds awesome. I'm super excited. I like change. So I'd like to see a lot more 2x2s. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. All right. Pedro?
No, I agree. It's going to make long travel distance with a meta team harder. You're going to be carrying a large pack on a bag. It's not going to be something very mobile. So, not going to be carrying your team around, but it's interesting, and it has that, we were talking previously on this, it has that impact feel to someone watching from, outside, right? You're not watching just small figures on the map. You have that impact, whoa, what's going on here? And if you have more vehicles, if you have different ways to approach the game, I think diversity is the spice of life, so I like it. I have good hopes for it.
Yeah. All right. Jay?
Don't have shelf space though, but I have good hopes for it.
My Canadian dollar is not happy about any price increase. I think each brick is 30 US more MSRP.
Yeah.
That turns my Canadian case from 280 Canadian to 360 Canadian. That does not make me a very happy person.
Well, that's just MSRP though. That's just, it moves a booster from $12 to $15 each.
Right. But they announced they said
15 to 20 in our cases.
Right.
They said there's stuff that I like Guardian stuff and the Spider Buggy, so I will want some of it. I'm going to be trying to be as conservative as possible with this particular set, unfortunately, due to said plastic price upping.
But like Pedro was saying, there's a selling point to this. If somebody walks through your comic, your local game store, your LGS, they see a sealed tournament going on at this set. This is a sealed tournament where Colossals are going to be featured. This is a sealed tournament where massive vehicles are going to be featured. I want to see what this looks like in sealed first before, coming to too many conclusions. I also want to see what they do with Colossals from this set because, you got the idea of a 300-point Colossal being pulled in every single pack. Right? terror. And can you imagine battle royales with this set now?
Oh,
Last forever.
Like
True.
these are all the logistics. I want to know if they've planned for this at some place like Worlds. Like, is there just not going to be this set at Worlds? So like, look, guys, we know how awesome. We're not doing it. We're not going to do. Stop.
This is the set right before Worlds, isn't it?
It is the set right before Worlds. That's the thing. This
My
comes
God.
out in June. Like this could
May.
be.
May, like
Oh.
probably mid-May.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. Orders are June, January, and expected release May. So, like, okay, first pick double base figure, or even worse is I'm gonna pass the spider buggy. Like, well, I just chose a colossal. What am I supposed to do with this?
The poor guy gets 2 vehicles and say, guys, so fair. Come on.
This last pick spider buggy. Like, really, guys? Really?
Just gonna running away on the map, hope that's got enough movement so you can run away from the Colossus.
Team Field's gonna look really fun.
Yeah.
no.
Team Seal's gonna look so cool, especially if you get a team that pulled out of the 6 packs like 6 colossals and one guy just plays them.
6 50-point colossals. Here we go. Let's do it.
Well, what do I do? it's I like all of this is just awesomeness that I'm putting together with it. Like everything here is not a problem really. It's just the extra fun because I'm really starting to love Sealed again in this game. Probably because the sets have been great for Sealed lately. And I hope that figure balancing does continue as it has, where, you know, I see a guy with a chase. Okay, it's going to be tough, but I might be able to still hang in a game, right? This is like my uncommon colossal might be able to 2-shot a chase. Who knows, right? So,
Yeah, for those of you who miss thinking about the many ATAs and how to use them, now you're going to have an infinite amount of Colossal Retaliations to pick from and think about all the crazy combos you can do with it, right? I mean, simplifying.
I want to see the Colossal Retaliation on the Living Tribunal. I want everything. I want 3s related to everything. It makes 3 attacks that do 3 damage, but then on the 3rd attack,
You win the game. If you hit the 3 attacks, you win the game, and the next 2.
Every 3rd attack is
Outwit 3
Triple-
powers and
Triple
so there's 25 2x2s. Assuming half of them rounded. Okay, so assume 13 are vehicles somehow. That's 12 new retaliators.
I was gonna say 13 of them. You're giving Marvel a lot of credit on your vehicle options.
No,
sir.
there's no way. We're gonna get like 20 new retaliators at once. That's insane.
it's probably 5 vehicles and they're all the super rares.
Five
Exactly.
different variations of the spider buggy, nonetheless.
The spider bike, have all of, you know, spider hang glider.
Oh my god. At least none of these colossals are themselves primes because oh my god, trying to get the super rare prime 2x2.
Oh my god. Buy it from PJ. He's gonna have loads of them.
Yeah. I have a colossal obsession.
I was gonna say PJ does like big things on the map. I've seen his teams, and I've had many a jealous moment. I'm super jealous of your googly-eyed carnages, by the way, that Easton tried to pass off as his own.
You want to bring your Mangog to my starting area? Good luck finding a place for him.
Yeah, you're gonna find space in here. I can't find space.
Come
in
in, bro. It's all yours, bro. Come in. Not attacking. Just find a place.
I have played multiple teams that have had to extend my starting zone because of the number of colossals on it.
PJ extensively knows the rules behind the extension of the starting area because of how he plays Heroclix.
Abuses it aggressively.
Just like I'm very familiar with filling a map full of figures that didn't start this game on the map. It's like, Jason, how many of these are yours? All of them?
All of them.
How did you start with? 4 of them?
Why do you have a sideline with 100 pieces? No, don't worry. Sideline's 9. This is out of the game people.
Yeah,
They'll jump in a second.
This is actually my bin. I just didn't want to put it in a bin. All right, that's it, guys. A lot of exciting stuff on the horizon, and I don't think I've got much negative to say, with the exception of the monthly OP kits. But monthly OP kits of late have been mediocre at best. Like
We haven't gotten any. This is the first one in like 5 months.
Well, we did also have the. I just got through the what if ones myself at my store. So we had the Colossus, the Storm, and the In-Betweener. I'm sorry, the In-Blink Tweener.
The Storm. The only one of those that matters is going to be Storm when her ID card comes out.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's going to be nutty.
Oh boy, yeah. And for the last 9 months of the teleporter, it will be the real boy Storm or the real girl Storm.
Yep.
Sure. All right. So that said, we got to talking a little bit before the show, and we didn't actually come up with a whole lot of topics because, my gosh, we had so much news to discuss. But with that said, the topic came up where we spent a lot of time so far on the Unimind in the metagame. We actually spent a good solid 2 weeks talking about that unfortunate green blob. And I'm only mentioning him in passing because we're not actually going to talk about him. But we're going to talk about his partner in crime and how all of a sudden we went from we've forgotten about Nighthawk Prime to where did all of these Nighthawk Primes go? He's a super rare prime. And we start to look at figures now in the current competitive environment. You get all this idea of I can get plus X to my stats is all of a sudden drifting away again. It's a dangerous state. And I got to go across the panel and we're going to see how everybody's kind of looking at it, dealing with it in their own ways. I'm going to let PJ take the lead on this one. How you're very known for not playing the norm. So like, where's your mindset as far as staying away from or just managing your way through Nighthawk Primes?
So right now for me, to avoid I'm not even worried about the sheer amount of Uniminds like we're talking about now. It's the sheer amount of Nighthawks. You literally have to build completely around it. It makes ESD, combat reflexes, both of the experts, a lot of these things just a lot worse inherently. So as I'm building, I'm finding myself wanting to use blades a lot more often than not. It's the best way to increase your damage output, especially with the recent buff that blades got with the rule change. So I've been doing a lot of random building with like Gertrude and Old Lace and some Green Lantern to protect them from getting obliterated by whatever. So you're just using, with the meta kind of being point denial, you need to be safe and at the same time try not to rely on combat values. So I think Pogs actually has a really good home right now in the current meta if people are willing to experiment with it.
Mm-hmm. I know personally I've been experimenting with Pogs for years. We're past the experimentation phase. I think we're married. So I can definitely relate to that one. I'm going to go into my stories of late. But you know, I'm starting to readdress the Alice Rodan inclusion on my old team, and it's time to un-Canadianize my team a little and take that poor guy out and start adding a little bit more Pog integration. I think increasing number of things that are out there. Pedro.
Yep. So not to be repetitive on PJ said, trying to explore it a little outside the box. I think one thing that I correlate, and it might sound a little crazy, when Peace Machine came out, I was also, I was discussing a lot with people here and with Thiago especially. Although it's definitely not the same thing as Nighthawk, it was capping your damage at 3, right? I'm simplifying it so we don't waste a lot of time. So the way around that was and all team that had the Peace Machine, you were either pinging him with Shredders or you were getting a lot of people with Flurry, right? Because then you would get double 3s damage on your opponent. So I think the 2 ways out of point denial and having a team that's sufficiently good and not overly exposed to your Unimind team in face of Nighthawk is eventually trying to get some nasty combination of having your Swordsman and Katana ID and having a lot of Pogs with blades. The Symbiote's great for that. The Bears from Devil Dinosaur is great for that. So try to get some crazy ideas to have a lot of attacks going on. Eventually a few of them will get in, especially with blades. I also think that if this crazy amount of attacks will not help you, build teams. I know it sounds crazy, but try to have something team, try to get map in your favor. I think map is becoming, it was always very important to a point. There's a segment on the show for it, but it's going to become increasingly more important. And people usually dismiss teams for the new PC is okay, but not really. So I think that you have to think a little bit outside the box because you're not going to get those super numbers there. Eventually, I hope, and that would be my last shot, try to get some cool replacements, Sinister Syndicates and things like that. Unfortunately, you don't have many meta with the Batman enemy because Lady Shiva will be awesome to provide 12 to everybody. 12 in a universe where, everybody's being held up and you bring your own Nighthawk, maybe people do some of the tricks. But I would go, crazy mathematical numbers by making many attacks and flurrying my way out of the Nighthawk conundrum.
All right. Jay?
Yeah, I definitely love that swordsman inspiration. I've been running it for a while now because Joker has one click of flurry, one click of blaze, and then he has his dial go around twice. So he has 1/3 of his clicks that work really well with that. And then Chair Joker already starts with blades and then has the double token effect. So I'm not really building competitively right now because I have some sealed opens, and then I don't anticipate playing until like nationals or worlds because judging opens here, probably judging Canadian nationals, and then at some point try and get my qualification, which I might just get lucky in a sealed open this round. So, but I'd probably just stick with my current Joker's team, but just adjust the ID card to not necessarily rely on modifiers as much and just try and grind through. Hope there's not as many Utamines because everybody's getting sick of them. And hope to just force some results through.
Well, and that's one of the things PJ and Pedro were kind of alluding to. When you get to these big bystander teams and you get a lot of Blades, Claws, Fangs out of the teams, you're no longer worried about the Nighthawk Prime issue, and as well, you can all of a sudden have a no-point character doing a ton of damage or no damage in my case to big figures like the Unimind. In fact, my personal story from Rocktober is I can't blame anything on it. Just every time I got a Blades and it looked like it was going to stick, man, that's when a 2 showed up. So, these things happen. This game does have a lot of dice in the engine. I just need to, increase the number of things. And that's why I'm kind of looking, like has been said, the Swordsman doesn't just add blades to a bunch of things if you get to number 2, or doesn't just come out as a character. He's got the potential of taking anybody who's already got blades and adding flurry to that. If you really want to maximize on the potential of that, you can also add the Katana ID card, because we still have a version of Katana, if I remember correctly, from
Joker's Wild.
Wild. She's still got some longevity. She's gonna outlast the ID card as it is, and that's now 2 ways you can get that flurry blades trick coming out of little things like the drop bears or
symbiotes.
The symbiotes. So
and old lace.
And old lace.
Yes,
that raptor kids. Or sorry, the Dionysosaurus, or I don't know, whatever. It's not a raptor.
Old lace also starts with 2 damage. If you're running 2 of them, they can empower each other, hopefully. So you may not necessarily need to roll for blades if you're going for squishy Nighthawk or something.
Yeah. All right. So that was a cool kind of lead into some of the conversations. One of those things planned for the Nighthawk Primes. Be ready for them. And I do want to take a little bit of time to talk about, get some other ideas from, our new lab techs as far as the sealed mentality, what you're looking for as far as sealed. Because it's a lot of WKOs coming around the corner are going to be sealed. Most of the earlier ones in the month are going to be constructed. But once you hit that post-Harley release date, that's when we hit sealed country, and a lot of stores are going to be running the Harley sealed. Now, ignoring the fact that you don't know anything about a set, there's mentality and things you got to look for in sets as far as sealed's concerned. So I'm going to let PJ, Pedro, Jay, and myself kind of share our personal views on sealed and how things work, because sealed can get stylistic, but it's also there's a lot of safe things to keep an eye on. And I'm going to let Pedro, when it comes to a sealed tournament, you're getting yourself ready. What things, when you open your packs, what are the first things you look for?
Okay, so I'll use the latest experience, which was very cool for the classifiers. I think the main thing you're gonna go there, to me, it's good range. Unfortunately, it's still a range game, especially in sealed, where you're not going to be able to prepare TKs and crazy alpha strike techniques. I think that range and move and attack, it's the very very first starter, and it's impossible to do without if you can sneak in the POPs, perplex, outwit, or prob there. It was great. I was lucky to make a Torbuster, Tina, and Lorelei in the Rock World Cup for teams. and I went, undefeated in the 4 rounds of Swiss. It was super effective. She was perplexing whatever was needed. The guys were doing the work from afar, and so I think it's still a range game. Make sure that you can have someone that hits hard, that has move and attack. You won't be able to, plan around unless you're lucky that all the teams align and you get exactly what you want and you've been studying for. I would say move and attack, good range, and a few of the couple support powers, and you should be good.
Mm-hmm. All right, Jay.
On top of all those very good points, I just think because you can't really control what you get in sealed. I really think that the most important possible thing you can do before you even get there is just make sure you're familiar with the set, because you might have some pulls that look good, but if they don't deal with the particular problems in the set, you're not going to have a good time. So I think knowing what you're going to play against is probably the absolute most important thing you can do before you even build. But then once you build, try and get your support powers, because prob and sealed is so rare but so important. You want to be able to keep your opponent at range and all that good stuff that Pedro said.
All right, PJ.
So when I sit down in a sealed and I open my boosters, I actually do it the opposite of what they were saying. I look for support powers first. I build my support and then fill in however many points I have left for an attacker, and just kind of make it work. Because prob wins games, especially like I've won 2 sealed WKOs and both of them I had 3 probs. So like even if it's a subpar piece, just having the extra chance to roll out just to make them hit miss or ensure your hit, you don't need crazy high values. So I think it's just more important to look for perplexes and probs. Outwits kind of hit and miss depending on the set, and then just kind of picking an attacker where you can get it. Like Pedro was saying, though, it is still a range game, so you want to be shooty if you can be shooty. If not, play a big theme and play close combat stuff. Pick a good map.
Yeah. And one thing I have noticed as far as Pedro mentioned it in brief, you mentioned the Thor Buster. Look for your in-set hard counters, because something like the Thor Buster itself, look at how many characters have Asgardian keywords in the TMT set. That cute noise was Amber sneezing.
Oh.
Kind of, sort of. I know it sounded like she was stepping on a mouse, but. So, when you have the Thor Buster and he takes damage and then he heals damage with his Asgardian, like that's most of that set when it comes down to it. There are so many Asgardians in there. And I was just watching on the stream alone, watching people try to slowly ding their way through that thing. It's an inset counter is what we like to call it. So you got to look for things like that. I think the first thing you should be familiar with in the set is the common slot, and build your dream common list. Like, these are the commons I want to get, because that's the list you're going to most likely get at least one of them from. Don't get your hopes up on high rarities, because that's just a pile of disappointment. You're going to get between 2 and 3 commons in every pack, maybe 2 or 1 uncommon. You're going to get 1 rare. You're going to get, if you get a super rare, 1 super rare. If you get a chase, you won the lottery already. Enjoy yourself. You've paid for your tournament. But like you kind of got to get in the mindset of what are the good commons, because that's also, as PJ was saying, where the support powers lie. And that's you familiarize yourself with that part of the set first, and then you start to build around whatever you have on the higher end or what you're looking for outside of that. And Jay said it well. Know what you're going to run into in the set, I ran into this in the World's Finest, and I got myself out of that mindset a little while ago. Don't get down on yourself if the chases are busted in the set. Just play. Because if you have that mentality of, oh my gosh, the chases are so strong, I can't win if I don't have a chase. If you're going to a big WKO event, you're going to run into chases. I'm sorry. Bad news for you, kids. The bigger the event, the more chases are going to be seen. So, just expect them to be there and just know how they play. And that's part of knowing. And I'm not saying get these pieces out, know all their intricacies. Just kind of look at the dials, get an understanding of what's going to happen, and know once you've done the damage, what the figure's going to do. I mean, there's a big learning curve on sealed sometimes where you can't memorize everything. Just so keep an eye. Board state is the most important thing in sealed. Because if a thing is not dead, especially in sealed, oh boy, is it still a threat. Anybody who laughed at my Tyranids when I was playing a battle royale, oh, I was laughing by the end of that. Boy, was I laughing by the end of that. Anything you guys want to add before we move to your fan questions?
I think you and PJ touched on something interesting from different angles, which is don't get hung up on not getting the superpower guy that you loved in the set, and also don't let getting him stand in your way. Sometimes it's better to have a guy that's not as cool with the right support to make him awesome than to get that very good guy on its own that then has a team with zero synergy and you're just offering points on the board for your opponent. So I thought it was funny because you and PJ approach from different angles, but know that it's a team that you're playing. If you might have a good guy, but a good guy on its own might or might not do the trick if it's like a Unimind alone, which is an anomaly. But make sure that you can make good guys better. Don't count on don't get bummed if he does show up, and don't get star shined if he does. So
yeah. Anything else you want to add there, PJ?
Nope, covered it.
Jay?
Nope.
All right, but before we go to our fan questions, I want to remind everybody about our Patreon at patreon.com/marriedwithclicks. Any valuation gets you access to our patron Discord, which is an always available chat server type thing. That if you have a question or you want to just talk Heroclix with our other patrons or myself and Amber and some of these other guys, so I'm going to get into the patron Discord as well. Feel free to do it. Lots of conversation always going on there. It's always a ton of fun. Every so often they troll us on the Metal Lab, but it looks like they're pretty safe today and not bothering us. I think they're more awestruck that I managed to find not only a really great new set of techs, but I also managed to replace our Ginger with another Ginger. So, but that said, check us out at patreon.com/marriedwithclicks. We also have our another patron hangout this Friday. We're going to be opening up the floor to our patrons again. We did it this past Friday, and that was because we got really busy in October. Some kind of big tournament or something happened. I don't know. So we're going to have another one this next Friday for the month of November. And I'm going to invite some of my Metal Lab techs to join me if they're interested. I know sometimes work schedules won't line up, so I'm not going to promise anybody until we know on the Friday itself. So, again, patreon.com/marriedwithclicks. Check us out there. But without further ado, it's time to move on to the fan questions. We're going to start on the Facebook. And our first question comes from the man with the stamp. Makes an official episode. Mr. Chris Stockhouse, ladies and gentlemen, provided us with this beautiful rubber stamp, by the way, that I slam on a chip clipboard every time we do this. It starts, hello, Metal Lab. Anyone else want to try and win without Unimind for these WizKids Opens? I'm looking to try a Mangog team similar to the one that made it to the top 8 at Rock Cup. Hopefully everyone decides not to run Unimind, and it's great time for everyone, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I know myself, I'm a big fan of not playing the norm. Or just, not playing the team I brought and playing other things that come with it. So, but again, I'm playing sealed. So, guess what? I'm not playing Unimind.
Unless you're really, 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 really lucky and you pull one in the Harley set. But then you're already blessed.
I'm going to ask so many questions. Then I'm going to step on the Unimind that I pull out of the Harley set. Because die, demon, die. And then I'm going to politely ask for another pack.
Nice.
PJ, your thoughts?
I definitely will be attempting to win a constructed WKO without playing Unimind. And I kind of partially expect there to be a lower Unimind turnout than it's expected, just because the prize support on these aren't as big as the older ones. So I feel like people are willing to be slightly more casual while still being competitive. Yes, there's a Nationals invite on the line, so you'll still see some Uniminds. But I'm really hoping that a lot of people will kind of stray away from it. But at the same time, if I got to play against it, I got to play against it. I'm just going prepared. I'm going to play some Mistress Death, give her a hammer, and just start throwing it at people.
Nice. All right, Pedro?
I think it's, and without making a long point, it should be something to discuss later, but I think ID cards, and I think Adam Friedman made a post on it. I think ID cards dominate the meta for a while now. But I miss the good old days where the ID battery was actually a Swiss Army knife, where you could have the right guy for the right situation, and then give you flexibility on reach for something that your team couldn't originally. Now, to be honest, and I'm not dissing or dismissing any Unimind scene, but what you have is bring anyone. +2 attack, +2 damage will make most figures very useful. So I agree, it's kind of boring. I'm hoping that people just say, listen, let's give the game a chance, especially after the new rules being so cool and so many good things happening to the game. I've been practicing a lot with and against Unimind, and I'm hoping that practice will get the anti-Unimind things better, and I'm definitely willing to go the non-Unimind way, because even being meta player, I think it's a little bit boring, with all due respect to people who use him. It is a bit boring.
Jake?
I don't know of any not of constructed opens that I'm going to, but if I was going to one, I would definitely not be playing with that Unimind guy, because it's boring. I like having fun. I like playing a game with people, not playing a blob of green slime. I don't want to play Slimer. I want to play Heroclix.
Ghostbuster Heroclix.
Almost happened with Heroclix. Now, to kind of just defend the green blob, as it were, he's not boring to play against. The games I've played against Unimind, I guess it's the quality of player I played against, or the games that I watched on camera. It's not necessarily a boring matchup. It's just a frustratingly hard matchup. It's not like he's ducking you or anything. You're putting work in. He's putting work in. I think it's a boring in the sense that you're playing against it so many times. But I never found any of the games themselves completely stagnant or non-involved. I was able to do the work myself. I don't just, again, to jump on that, not to go against anybody who's playing Unimind, because it is the best option right now. So it's either, play Unimind or beat Unimind. And it looks like a lot of things really wants to. So, all right. Next up, Michael Fedor, the Alpha patron. What do you think about this? Can I give away my Golden Age commons and uncommon Heroclix a kid during trick-or-treating to grow the game, or will I have egg on my face or my door or my car or my window? Well, first, if you have egg on your face, they're close enough. Punch them back. I do not condone punching children, by the way. I was just being
metaphorically.
Metaphorically. Or my door. Well, okay. Or my car. Okay, sorry. So that's a cool idea. Might want to attach a small cheap candy to it. Just to be sure. Protect your house. Put some candy along with the Heroclix. If it's your old commons and uncommons, it's already costing you nothing. You cheap, beautiful man, you who gives us money on a regular basis. I got to remember that. But at the same time, throw a little candy in there. Just the Heroclix. Think of the Heroclix as a bonus if you're just giving it away and it's extra from your box. I mean, that sounds like a great idea. In fact, I might do that for my Avengers Defenders War stuff if I was not taking my kids trick-or-treating myself, because I got lots of Avengers Defenders War they can just take. PJ, your thoughts on the matter?
I think it's a good idea. It definitely needs to have candy in it, or you will have angry children. But I also think you should kind of direct it to age groups if you're going to do it. Don't just give it to toddlers, because they'll eat it, and that's bad. But if you're looking at like 10 plus, dropping a couple in there, I would do at least 2, so they have 2 they can beat up on each other at worst. So, and try to stick to bigger characters. Your Iron Man, Thor, Batman, Superman type stuff. Dropping in random characters that nobody's ever heard of probably isn't going to do a whole lot for the game, except for help you throw stuff away.
You know what would be so cool is if WizKids, think about this, WizKids. Quick start Halloween bags. Just thought.
Nice.
Pedro?
No, I totally agree, and it's not the meta player speaking, it's the lawyer speaking. Make sure you have a note saying, go to the WizKids official website to play it, or ask your parents to teach you. Don't come back at my house at a later stage to play it. Your parents or the WizKids website will teach you how to play, but otherwise, make sure candy's there, and they know it's just for fun.
And as my lawyer, Pedro, what do I do about the egg throwing?
Dude, just clean it up, have a nice time. It's not worth. You're gonna spend more with a lawyer trying to clean that up than you're gonna spend with wipes. So,
Jay, your thoughts on the matter?
Where's the My Little Pony Heroclix when you need it?
Diversify for the ladies, right? Or for the boys. I mean, my sons both like My Little Pony too, so.
Was not a misogynistic comment. It's just that it's an earlier stage of their life, so it's not the necessary right time to pick a choice or matter. So
let's cover all of our grounds and walk over eggshells that apparently are being thrown at my door.
I see. I found something great to help you out with. I'm gonna be preparing disclaimers for the end of the show while you guys talk meta. I got it, guys. Leave it to me.
If it ever becomes public what my job is, I might need another one of those just as a heads up. That said, if egg throwing at your door is a common problem, consider your neighborhood. Just saying. I don't think I've lived in some pretty rough neighborhoods that have never had that problem. Although this is going to be the week, right?
Now that you asked for it so openly.
Yeah, basically just asked for it, right? I hope there's no kids at either side of my house. I mean, I live in an apartment, so I mean, it's not really a thing I have to deal with that often.
I mean, I'll do it. Don't tell. I know where you live.
So Pedro, that was an admission of guilt, right?
If it now happens, you already.
Oh, I've been incriminated. Right, I'm dead. Yeah,
just making sure, because apparently I've got a lawyer now. Yep. Oh man, there goes all my Patreon money.
True, I can give you back as a patron, so you're fine.
All right. Next up, Eric Atkinson. Question: what maps do you think are the best to bring to a WizKids Open using the Thor sealed? Ooh, that's an interesting question.
Bifrost is up there with all the super strength and the knockback.
Yeah, Bifrost is a very strong one. There's a lot of knockback in the set itself, just base knockback as it is. The Bifrost is a good option. The WizKids Office, if you're afraid of ranges, because there are some pretty decent ranges in there, or if you want to maintain position advantage somehow.
Jotunheim Lake also, for the same reason of all the knockback.
Any thoughts there, PJ?
I just think as a general rule, you always want to take something wide open, something enclosed, something that's kind of tricksy, kind of like Bifrost makes a lot of sense for the set. So like WizKids Office, like you were saying, and then something like Turtle Lair, it's indoor and wide open.
Yep.
There's very few places to hide. So if you pull the range team and you win map, you don't want them to be hiding behind walls in WizKids Office. You just want to be able to lay into them. So you want something that is open.
Yeah. Pedro?
Now, hard to follow you guys, but I'll keep testing myself. I think PJ got it, but I would say, if you have each, if neither of them is the one, then pick one that you're very familiar with. Sometimes knowing all the tricks and corners of a map might give you that edge. If you're not very familiar with either one, super open, super close, and then one you know all the tricks of, because maybe you find a team that is good for that particular one, and you have an extra advantage.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to add one last thing: is never be afraid of maps with a lot of elevated terrain. Elevation can really, really help you in a tight spot, especially if you know how to position around elevated terrain. I think I got to do an episode around positioning with elevated terrain, because there's some really neat tricks if you can pull them off with elevated terrain that can really be obnoxious. All right, we move to. There's one more question actually that snuck its way onto. Two more even. Look at that. All right. Okay, this is kind of a rules question. How does new Shazam's protect mystics work? Protected from feedback when you hit a mystic, or if you get pulse wave, the attacker still takes mystic? No, that means whenever you attack a character with mystics, you don't take it. And Christopher Smotherman, been a while since I've seen a question from this man. Is it worth taking a look back at some of the figures from the Thor Ragnarok set, particularly the two Grandmasters, possibly even on the same team? One is a call-in battery that his actions don't count against your total and can choose any support power, basically, or the higher point one that can make your opponent's Unimind attack your 0-point Pog, triggering retaliation with a 9 range with sidestep and prop. What's not to like about these two guys? Nothing. Nobody's talking about anything from the set. It's sad, and the sculpt on that Hulk is spectacular, but I digress. A lot of these are really good ideas. I've considered both the Grandmasters, not necessarily in the way you're talking about it, but just forcing, like you said, Uniminds to attack things you don't care about, or bigger things attacking smaller things to kind of bully. Both are really valid strategies. It's just that the point investment of 75 points it feels heavy for what you get out of them. It's kind of my thoughts on it. What do you think there, PJ?
I love the little Grandmaster that has all the support powers where you pick your click. I think he's phenomenal. I could see him being played because it is he could die randomly, but I still think he's good. The full Grandmaster, the bigger one, I don't think he really has a home in Modern. I could see him being in some niche stuff in like Golden or Rock Age. Making more attacks is always fun. Something like MODOK Pool, who whenever he makes it close, he can then shoot something. So just getting a bunch of free attacks out of that's fun.
All right, Pedro.
Yeah, I think you got it. I think the Grandmaster, the support Grandmaster is also amazing, but I think he's gonna find hard competition with Ironheart. She might have a bigger chance at survival. I think the big advantage for him, which I think it's the tipping point that's gonna make you lose Nights of Sleep team building, is you actually pick the power. So there, Ironheart, you're kind of at the mercy of the D6. But the support, you will have it if you need it. The Grandmaster will deliver better because you pick what you want. So I that might be a decider, but it's still 35 points more. That's a full teleporter on Ironheart. And I also fully agree with PJ. 75 points. I think it's a great idea, especially for Mistress Death, for instance. It's one more chance for her to dish out the tokens, or But I think that first, if you probably want to position your strong guy against someone which is weak against melee. And if it had to be adjacent, you already mission accomplished. It's a one more round and the guy will be dead anyways. So for 75 points, you're actually missing the chance of having a secondary attacker do something more aggressive, or a great supporter. I don't know. Maybe for 400 to make a Mistress Death team even more deadly. But I agree with PJ. Nice mechanics, but too costed a figure to give it a shot.
All right, Jay.
I could see the 25-point Odin getting some random play, if only for the trait with the +1. If you're playing like a 400 limited with a bunch of Asgardians, getting +1 attack on all of them could be good, because that's the only environment where Bill is any good, unfortunately, currently. And the leadership's probably never going to happen, because that'll mean he's in too risky of a position. But 25 points to maybe get +1 attack on a lot of characters. I don't know. But other than that, yeah, not much is going on with this set, unfortunately.
And just as a quick aside there, PJ, he doesn't die randomly. He might be put on a crappy click.
Well, I mean, like he can go to his last click and then get
click and then poisoned or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I mean, die randomly.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure we were like clicking in the number of clicks. It's like, what? No!
I rolled a 7. What?
No, not literally die randomly, but he has 16 defense and no reducers. So if you roll that 6, he's probably dead.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that for all of our fans who are watching. We're like, what?
Good call.
Because not everybody kind of catches on everything. Anyway,
you don't roll 7 on 1d6.
Look, you're talking to the guy who can manage that, all right?
Exactly.
I'm the guy that rolls
blades.
I'm the guy that rolls a 10 to hit, and it's actually a bad thing, right, Jay?
I still can't believe if that game had happened a month later, that whole rest of that game wouldn't happen.
Yeah, the whole rest of the game would have been a completely different turnout. But no. Roll 10, knockback. Darn it!
Missed the second flurry.
Well, it's not even that. It's just I needed the follow-up to get the Joker done, and it's just a follow-up. So even again, when I need to do it high, I'll get it high, but something will go wrong, or that's when my dice rolls will start to go high when I don't need them to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
so,
but you fucked up with that being that was your only loss of the day, right? So
that was my only loss of the day,
which means that you won the tournament, so you did okay, all things considered.
I did. You're right. I did fine. All right. We now move into the chat on our live chat. So KJ Foster, he's got a question directed for PJ. Of all your teammates, who is the coolest to hang out with?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
You're on the Metal Lab team too.
Good call. I don't think I can really say that anybody's necessarily cooler than the other. But I guess if I had to pick somebody to be in a 10-hour car ride with, it would probably be KJ.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'd be in a 10-hour car ride with KJ too. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I've had the pleasure of meeting him a few times in person. So, all right. Actually, looks like no, there's one more that snuck its way in there, and this is from Tiger Alchemy. What figures would you hope to see for the 2x2 figures from the Avengers Infinity set? I haven't actually put any thought into it other than laughing at the spider buggy, to be brutally honest. I don't know. You have any ideas, PJ?
I'd like to see more like generics, like just generic colossals. I really liked, Flora and stuff and Frost Giants. Yeah, I like stuff like that. So I'd like to see more generics, just because they're cool. I think they'd fit well into the uncommon slot. I fully expect Living Tribunal to be a colossal, probably Eternity also.
Oh yeah.
I don't really know Marvel vehicles.
I hope Eternity looks as cool, like, I don't know, some kind of half clear plastic or like just a paint job on that's going to be the coolest thing in the world. Because it's going to be like a starscape on a giant figure.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Pedro?
I would say Thanos, but I don't want anything to help Unimind any longer. I think he's got enough powers to pick from. I know someone is with kids will sneak a pulse wave in because why not? And that's going to be very disappointing. So I hope a behaved Thanos that has pulse wave on his second click onwards. That's fine. But anything on that nature works for me.
All right. Jay?
Brett.
Oh, Thanos' helicopter.
Oh, the Thanos copter. Oh, it hurts. Oh, I just came off of a cough and I'm dying. That was worth it though. Oh, it hurts.
All right. I know the license hasn't been used.
Whew.
I know they don't do it enough. But come on, guys. Give me a Fantastic Car.
Wow.
Please? Or you know what? Give me 4 Fantastic Cars and then let me put them together.
Nice.
You know what? I just thought of this. Galactus' ship would be a good 2x2 base thing. A big plastic or Borg sphere type thing.
Oh, I know one. I would love to see. There was a little small point in an X-Men comic where Iceman was a colossal Voltron.
Right. That would be cool.
That would be the best thing ever. I would own 50 of them.
I am also tired of seeing Krakoa as a map. Give me Krakoa as a figure.
There you go.
Yeah, why not?
Dude, when it comes to the Colossals, I can think all day. You got to get really stupid when it comes to Marvel vehicles, like the Human Torch's Jeep. No, thank you.
No, yeah.
I think just about everybody in the Marvel universe has owned a Jeep at some point. Maybe a return of Thor's chariot.
Oh,
We try that.
The vehicle that had the vehicle cured before they were even a thing.
Yeah, the vehicle before vehicles were a thing. You're right. Why not make it a thing now? And give it support to represent Thor eating his goats that come back to life the next day. It's wait, that's real mythology? I don't do that in the comics, do they?
Like, no.
I mean, nothing that we could possibly get is stupider than what was the one from the Nick Fury set? His space jetpack or whatever.
The Shield space rig.
Yep, that was a little silly.
I'm trying to remember because in Infamous Iron Man, the Thing was chasing Dr. Doom all over the world, and I think he was doing it in just a Fantastic Car, but it might have also been like a Shield vehicle of some sorts. I just remember him looking very small in it. So
we should get, what we should get? We should get Jason Esparta's ship, and it does the exact same thing as he did.
Shi'ar, no, Shi'ar. That's X-Men property. You don't want to give the Fox too much money there.
You can do like I just saw Paul say in the chat, Green Goblin's glider.
He had a big one at one point, so I think we can justify 2x2 on that somehow.
Yeah.
You know what? If we get a 2x2 on it, then I want the ability to put the figure on it.
Oh yeah, have a little hole in the middle.
Yeah, a little hole for the figure base. Then I'm in. I'm all for Green Goblin glider or any kind of Goblin glider that has that kind of thing going on for sure.
We can also just get like a diorama piece, like the old Spider-Man by the brick figure or whatever from Web of Spider-Man, where it was just normal Spider-Man, but as a 2x2, like a nice little display piece.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, if you so much as encourage a team base again, I'm going to come to your house and cut you.
Oh no,
Go all the way to your house and cut you. Those things are not allowed as suggestions on this show.
I think now that I think about it, that was the only type of figure like that we ever got. Just a regular thing that was.
Well, there's a Joker like that too, wasn't there?
There's a Joker.
Oh yeah, I've totally forgot about him.
I love that Joker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
All right. On that note, before I move on to our sponsors, I want to welcome personally our new ginger, Mr. PJ Bolin. He's a new fixture of the channel. I look forward to more episodes with you, sir. Pedro, thank you very much for filling in for Mike today. We'll see you on the next time that we rotate through all the other guys that we have on the list and get on there. We did have a question roughly about the online games for The Rock. It wasn't listed with a question, but I got no information. I believe The Rock online group on Facebook may have something. Honestly, I haven't had a chance to keep track of that, and not a lot of public in-your-face news has come my way. I'm sure Howard will give me updates as things progress through that. He's been pretty good about keeping me up to date on what's going on. But he's also in the middle. I mean, Lucky Dice Games, which is his new game cafe that he's opening in his down in where he is, that opens in 2 days. So I want to let him focus on that because he's got an undertaking. Not only is he opening a game store, it's a game store and a restaurant. That's a double whammy of wow stuff to open up. So I want to wish him all the best on that. And I wish I was in the area in order to stop by because his food prices were fantastic. Like, I want to just one look at his menu, and I was like, I want to buy 2 sandwiches a pop and pay for playing video board games and still walk out with change for my $20 bill. Yep. So, yeah, I'm all. It's looking great. That's Lucky Dice Games. Look it up as they get open up. I also wanted to thank Jay because, you know, he deserves some thanks every so often. All right. That said, I want to thank our sponsors over at hcrealms.com. They're the place where everything is happening in the game of Heroclix. Use this unit section. Everybody's using it to build their teams. It's one of the coolest tools in the world. It's actually the coolest and best tool available to us as Heroclix players right now. It's just a matter of click, 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 and build your teams, track your collection, etc. Check out the homepage. There's all kinds of cool stuff that's going on. They are keeping up to date with the previews, it would appear. All kinds of neat ideas, articles across the board. Check the forums. That's where people are talking about what's going on in the game. And while you're there, why not stop in the shop and buy some cool stuff. Put in the coupon code MARRIED for 10% off of your purchase. As well, we're brought to you in part by MajesticCCG.com/Apex-Insiders. That is the place. That's the brain dump of the great brains. I know PJ himself here is a regular contributor to the channel, to the page. Jay is a regular contributor. I am an irregular contributor as well as an irregular person. $3 a month gets you access to the brain dumps of the greats, and you can just go to the MajesticCCG.com site for occasional articles that aren't necessarily under the premium site. So there's all kinds of cool stuff. Just hit that site up, MajesticCCG.com/Apex-Insiders. So that said, guys, great to have some new minds on the show. It's great to have multiple voices. It's been a while since it hasn't just been 2 of us yapping at each other, and it's really looking exciting for the future of the channel. And those of you who are watching, we've gotten some brain dumps from one of the greats already, and hopefully the information that we've passed on to you can help you get yourselves ready for your WKOs and whatnot. But the most important thing is get those teams together and practice, because practice will make your teams better. Have a good night, everybody.